This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, you are audible. Perfect. Is my voice clear and audible to you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So yes, Neeraj, we will have a quick introductions and then the aspirations for you to join the session. We will try to know more about you and then we will progress with our session. Right. So can you kindly introduce yourself?
Uh, sure, Raghu. So, Raghu, basically, I am myself an APO consultant. I have almost 15 years of experience in SAP APO, primarily into GATP and TP. I have not worked much on PPDS, but I did have some implementations where PPDS was also involved. So, I have a very basic understanding of PPDS, I would say. Currently, I am working on S4 HANA support engagement. But now I wanted to work into ePPDS because we are going live with ePPDS, and I wanted to have complete understanding and knowledge about ePPDS module. So that is what I am actually looking forward to.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for your introduction and also your aspirations. Okay, let me also take this opportunity to introduce myself. I am Raghu Kumar.
Sure.
I have been with SAP for more than 17 years. So I have worked for different models of APO. Yes, I have also been a certified consultant from IIM Bengaluru. Yeah, I'm a functional consultant. I have been with engagements with SAP, prestigious MNC companies. I do implementations for SAP S4 HANA, SAP IBP, CPI, and also EWM and TPDS. These are the few other niche areas where I do my implementation process, help to the different clients. Okay, so coming to the whole sessions, right? So our sessions are broadly classified into three important aspects: gap analysis sessions,
Okay.
training contents, user stories. Okay, is the font what is I'm typing? Is it straining your eyes? Do you want me to expand it more?
Yeah, a little bit if you can expand. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, this is okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I'll brief about one of each of them. What is this part of the session? What are we going to describe and how are we going to work with it? And yes, I will take the questions after this. Okay. Gap analysis sessions. So all the prerequisite topics which are essentially needed for us in order to make our training contents more impactful or making it more relevant for our topic discussion, we will take the gap analysis sessions first. What we would do under gap analysis sessions, whether we speak about say the architecture, whether we speak about the basic functionalities or many other prerequisite topics, will be under the gap analysis sessions. So here this is a place where we will try to know about your experiences or about your say the different clients. I mean industry specific. We don't want to you to utter about your clients for which you have worked, but industry in which they belong to, so that we can relate to the topic, right? So you say, okay, I have worked for mining industry or metal industry, so we can relate to those examples so that it makes more opt to you, right? So that's the intention. What I mean is, yeah. So
Sure.
uh, under the gap analysis sessions, it is more interactive, and we'll also try to bring more topics here to make the actual training contents more impactful. Then coming to the training contents, I believe you have received a Word document from my coordinator which speaks about the training contents. Is that yes?
I got a recording. I got a recording actually where the content was there. So I have seen that actually. Yeah.
Okay, you will also receive a Word document. You can keep it for your reference. Okay, this all will be the training content topics. That way you can keep it for your reference point of view. Yes, that will be there. So we will have orientation, like okay, we'll start with say the introduction to the architecture point of view, then the master data requirements, transactions, what are the different methodologies, how do we evaluate, how the planning is going, and all the details, right? So in that way we will go ahead with the training contents. Then comes the very important aspect, that is user stories. So all the techniques and methodologies you have learned under the training contents, that will be much more showcased under the user stories with a problem statement. So you are going to address a real-time problem statement which has been faced by different players involved, like you can say production planners, supply manufacturing, process coordinators, and so on. There are different players who will be involved. So how are the problem statements making the process of planning getting say distracted, or maybe it is becoming say one of the impediment, and how are we going to address them? All those things we will understand under the user stories. Make sense? Hello?
Yeah, Raghu, go ahead.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Neeraj, are you with me? Yeah.
Your voice is little
Okay,
bit
good.
breaking actually.
So are we clear with these three aspects? Gap analysis sessions. Is it all? Sorry, I
Yeah,
have no clue why it is. I see my net is
yeah. Now it is fine actually. I can hear you.
okay. 1 minute.
I am okay with it actually. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sure. You can let me know any point of time if you feel any no audio clearance and all. You can let me know. I will try to change my connection setting if needed. Okay. So can I continue now? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. So yes. So this is the way how our sessions are classified into. Questions about these things? Gap analysis sessions, training contents, user stories. What do they mean?
Yeah, I'm okay with that actually. I got it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So then let's go to the next aspect about our sessions. I would prefer to give my aspirants a presenter role and help them with the basic navigation rather than me presenting it and doing it, because I strongly believe that way of interactive discussions would make a lot of difference rather than I quickly navigating from one screen to another and you have to just go for recording multiple times. But rather, of course, though this is recorded, it will also be a practice session for you while you are trying to do it by yourself. So are you okay to be a presenter and volunteer the whole session? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to have that kind of a thing. I think because based on my experience, also looking at the screen would definitely not help that much, rather than doing it myself.
Yeah. So I strongly believe that, and I also do it every aspirant in the same way. So
Mm.
I would say if you have a OneNote as one, so I will also give some important points or the topic points when we discuss, right? So you can use a OneNote or Word document, whatever you feel like comfortable with. So where you will be also writing some running notes for a topic, right? And then going on to the system. So our sessions would see both the things, like some part of theory we'll also be having, and then realization of the theory onto the system. So those two things will be there. Like it's like, I would not say like first half like this, second half like this. No, we'll take a topic, we speak about it for a while, and then we go on to system, and then we see it, and again returning back sometimes if needed. We have to write some important points and so right. In that way, our sessions would progress. Are you okay with that approach?
Yeah, sure. I'm fine with that actually. That should work.
Okay, perfect. So the coordinator, I think Rajendra or some other coordinator will help you in order to how to share your screen, how you can start recording, or how you can stop screen sharing if certainly if you want to make yourself comfortable and all at certain times. So all those options and assistance towards go to meeting, how you can do that will be helped out by the coordinator. Okay, you can reach out to him. And as there can be some topics which need special attention or which need special discussion to be there, so those additional topics, as we progress further, you will also receive some documents which is trainer narrated documents will be sent to you by me, sorry, by Rajendra, sorry. Yeah. So he will
Yeah.
be sending you some essential documents as we progress with the sessions. Okay, perfect. And now I understand that you come with the background of APO. So, and you also come with understanding of GATP. That's good. So you have some experiences or some awareness towards execution system point of view, like sales, material management, and also some basic awareness is maybe there, but not to a very high extent. Correct me?
Yes, I have worked extensively on SD and little bit on MM actually. So I have good understanding on those two. I should not be having much problems there. Yeah,
Perfect.
PP, although I have basic understanding, but I would still need some handholding in some of the active processes which might be relevant for PPDS actually.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So please bear with us because we are trying to understand your experiences so that we can tailor the sessions. That is the intention. We are asking you the experiences. Nothing else done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
So I
let's
would
come
be
to the
see, Raghu. So basically, if you like you mentioned, so based on my experience, right? Since I am working in GATP, so SD definitely I have to work with it. And in my previous experiences, when I was a business planner, I was working extensively in MM. But I do believe that in PPDS, we do need some understanding of PP also. So although I have a basic
exactly.
understanding of PP, but I have never worked on PP extensively. So, for example, this MRP runs and other activities, I have not been part of it, though I know
Okay.
theoretically and understand
Sure.
that.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us know that. So yes, we will also have a little more stress or little more focus on certain topics where we essentially we say that yes, production planning relevant topics comes and essentially as a though as an advanced planning consultant, that awareness is needed. Of course, this gap is much more say nullified or reduced in the scope as it comes to S4 HANA. You know that like
Correct.
earlier it was like okay you only have APO consultants so they had the gray box for others, so execution system people like or SD they say that's APO spot, okay, so I don't have to look onto it. It's an APO guy's job. Right, so it's not the case now. So we are into one single box now, so the boundaries have been they have been erased, so we need to know both the things. So yes, you would now get this time for you now that you're also going to get exposed to production planning also. That is there, it is going to be much more needed now than other times, right? Do you get my point what I mean to say?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, production planning and detail scheduling, PPDS. So PPDS was already one of the module of APO's older architecture also, right? So, but we know that demand planning and supply network planning, which is useful for us for statistical and tactical planning, they are much more enriched with IBP, integrated business planning, right? So, IBP is a new tool they have introduced for making this planning possibilities more effective. So, there can be some small reason or strong reasons why the production planning and data scheduling, which was the part of the older APO version also, to be still be used in the same way to a very high extent with the all the different matured features or matured models what they had. They are still supported in EPPDS also, that is for HANA system also. There should be some strong reasons, right, which can be the reason why SAP has still made that whole adoption of the older PPDS model to be the part of new S4 HANA box also. Right? Do you agree? Hello? I believe
Yes,
my
Raghu.
voice is reaching out to you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So there are a few important points what we need to know when we are looking forward for our PPDS. Okay. So how comfortable are you with these terms? Score. Have you ever heard
The
about
score
this
model,
term?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, you are aware of it. Okay.
yeah.
So it's your supply chain operations model. And how comfortable are you with this terms like say MTS, MTO, MTE.
Yeah, I'm aware of these. Make to stock, make to order, and make to assemble.
Make to engineering, yeah, or assemble to order also we refer it as sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, perfect. So whenever a client declares that okay, my business process it falls into an MTS or MTO or MTE, so probably he wants to give a clear direction that the both material and capacity planning are associated to be done by him on a clear edge. Only then he can make his final product possible, right? So material planning and capacity planning. So these are two different entities. Do you agree? Material planning is a different entity, capacity planning is different entity. So
Yeah.
you come with material management background, so maybe you are aware of some terms like MRP, CPP, JIT, EOQ.
Yeah, I'm aware of them.
All of the four, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, okay, I have a strong material planning, but a poor capacity planning. What could happen?
Yeah, basically, if capacity planning is not well, I definitely will not be able to do the production according to my uh, orders that are coming up. I will have a lot of inconsistencies on that grounds. I'll not be able to deliver the production orders or planned orders on production orders and finished products on time because of my constrained capacity planning. Yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So what we understand is that, so in spite of having a perfect material planning, if I do not have a capacity planning, that would become a bottleneck for me, and probably I will not be able to deliver to my customers, which is a very important KPI for me to in order to run my business, right? If I do not give
Yep.
my customers on a requested date and requested time, so that means I have an inefficient process. So I need a one single tool which can address these two different entities called material planning and capacity planning parallelly or simultaneously. So then as a client, I would prefer to go for PPDS. Okay, so what is a PPDS does? It does the material planning and capacity planning simultaneously at a one single step. Okay, which is a two-step procedure in production planning. Then a question could arrive, but Raghu, there are a few clients who only use production planning and still they are able to suffice without PPDS. What will be the difference? The difference is that they do not have to do a complete decomposition of their capacity capabilities to a very high extent, and there is still it's okay for them to go for a deviation in an MAD. In that case, I can still use a production planning. When I say deviation, say for example, you have placed an order in Amazon for a mobile phone, and the expected delivery date which is given to you, which we set as MAD, right? Material availability date, right? So it comes with certain date, and it is not with the time at least, right? There's no time association with it. He will give you the date and the time. It is okay throughout the day, anytime it can come. That's okay. But think about a huge, massive production process at the shop floor. I just cannot give you just a day, but rather I have to give you to a granular level of plan, like at which day, which hour, which minute. But whereas when you come to the PPDS, it goes to the granularity of second. This is another strong reason that PPDS, as it does the planning to a granularity of seconds, clients would try to use PPDS even in the new SAP S/4HANA box. You cannot expect to milliseconds and minute other subsections of the seconds, right? Because you are speaking about a very high note called production planning. Seconds is a very much expected granularity what we can think about, right? Right,
Yeah.
Neeraj?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. So granularity of planning. Which is possible by PPDS to the extent of seconds. We will examine this how PPDS is trying to tell us that to a minute level of seconds. We will examine that, and that will give you more clarity. Okay. Then let us speak about the another important feature. Why PPDS? So we are trying to make this question stronger and stronger, right? Like why PPDS? Why should I use PPDS? So in that case, we are trying to drill more and more say features of it. Am I right? Hello?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So firstly, what we have understood is that material planning and capacity planning both have to be done by me. If I'm falling short of any of them, surely I will not be able to confirm my customer. So that those two things can be planned by PPDS, that is there. And the granularity of planning can be as minute as seconds, that is also possible by PPDS. That is a second important advantage. Now let us speak about user experience, right? So you have, we basically many times we say like um, uh, a picture or a figure, it speaks more than just the numbers, right? So if I have to give you a puzzle or a solution, like where if I say that okay, a current situation where there are multiple orders, you have to manage the sequence of them, or you have to manage their relevant scheduling of them to a dedicated duration of times. You can do it manually by taking the numbers and then you're picking up the date and all. Then in that way you can do. But if I give you a much more easier way with a graphical association, graphical orientation, so it makes you as a user a user friendly job, right? So just like pick and drop, right? For example, if you have created multiple files and you want to selectively, there are different folders have been there, so you can use your say command prompt, and also from there also you can pick that files and place it there. But why are we using OS operating system like Microsoft? Is because you get that ease of using of it, ease of getting that experience, right? It's very much easy for you. You just pick it and drop it, right? Just like that, and that your job is done. As simple as that. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Are you okay? Yeah. So the user experience is also a very important aspect which is addressed by PPDS, which makes PPDS to be used by the clients even in the SAP S/4HANA box. Okay. So as you know, earlier we used to have SAP ECC and APO as two different boxes. One is called as OLTP, another one is called as OLAP system, right? Whereas now S/4HANA is OLTAP system, online transactions and analytical processing system, both of them together, right? So live cache is
Yeah.
not a new term for you. Live cache is still there. Live cache and its existence is still there.
Yes.
So, but
Correct.
I just want to explain about how this live cache makes a difference in the context of planning. Let us try to examine this with an example so that we understand, okay, when I have a live cache based system with me, what is the difference it brings to me? Like, okay, I'll take the same typical example of sales order. So I have a sales order, say some requested material, say material. So sales order, what I mean is the sales order number, let us say, example, sales order number, material, requested quantity, planned, MAD. I as an sales representative, I am very much interested to know about this MAD. Why am I punching this order is to get this MAD. You agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just entering some values here. Sale order number 1 for a material called M1, requested quantity as 100, planned say called P1, MAD I'm still about to decide. Stock in hand is 500. Say another sale order 2 of material called M2, same 100. same E1. So stock in hand is same. Sale order 3 for same material M1. And say quantity as 400 on same plant. Requested quantity. Okay, stock in hand. Okay, now you can see here there are two different materials with two different stock in hand situations, right? But as
Yeah.
we know, in the real time, of course, you have multiple sale orders getting processed at a one single point of time, and the acquiring of the data uh, in order to get updated, it is also to be very much faster. So you must have experienced this. If you are trying to modify already a material which is already in change mode, if you are trying to also modify it, it says you that you cannot modify this because this is currently under edit mode by so and so user, something like that, right? So similarly, even if you are trying to
Yeah.
do a sale order change, also you will see the same experience, because the very database of a normal execution system, it says that it has to follow a process of updation by queuing the requests one after the other, and only after the first request has been done, the second request can be processed. In this case, what we experience is that there can be a huge response time needed for the others. That are people can experience a lot of time of waiting. But when we have an advanced planning system with live cache enabled, the transactional data is easily accessible. Now, in this case, what I have maintained here, sale order 1 and sale order 3, until and unless I will confirm my requested quantity and I save my sale order, you know that the stock in hand situation cannot be determined. Do you agree? Because I'm still allowed to modify this quantity, requested quantity, to 100 to 200 or 300, again do an availability check, right? So in this case, requested quantity, only once I save it, my system gives me a determination of MAD, and the stock in hand situation, maybe it is going to update to 300. Hello, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second sale order which has come for the same material, that is sale order number 3, it can only be determined whether this order can be confirmed or not until unless this first sale order has been saved. So if I don't save this, probably what would happen? This will give a higher response time, because system is trying to look at the data, and already these are already request 1 here, which is trying to process the same data. So, but what would happen in our live cache? Let us try to see. Just a minute. Say this is your live cache. It is already updated with a so-called material called M1. It is already in a stock of 500. Then it has received two requests, right? Request 1 and request 2. What is the request 1? Please, it is our sale order 1. Do you agree? And the other one
Yeah.
is sale order 3. Sale order 1 and sale order 3. So this is request 1 and request 2. Sorry, because these two belong to a same material. So even if I do not process request 1, if it is still consuming some time, it's okay. But when you have advanced planning in place, when you have live cache in place, what system would do is, now this will turn to this type of calculation. M1, which is of 500 in quantity, minus REQ1. If this request 1 guy, this sales guy, is not able to still save the sale order, or he's still thinking about some other things, and he is not yet completed his sale order processing, this will still be request 1 only. And this person, the other person who is there, he was very quick and he wants to confirm 400 quantity. He is very much sure about it, so he has confirmed it. So minus 400, because he has saved his sale order. Now what will happen in this case? Again, it will be M1 with 100, right? Because 400 is confirmed, minus
Yeah.
REQ2. You, in this way of calculation, the response is very fast. It is very fast because the transactions are calculated separately and update to database is done at asynchronous form. That is the reason why we have live cache enabled S4 HANA system. Okay. So what is the takeaway point here? In order to maintain, in order to extract multiple transactional data and in order to make the response times smaller, they want to use the live cache enabled system. So though S4 HANA by itself is faster, to ensure that this multiple massive transactional data handling to not reduce the speed of it, they have ensured that live cache is also still a part of S4 HANA system. Now live cache is not in a different database earlier as how it used to be in the APO box. No. So do you know the difference now how it is? It is hosted, right? It is hosted onto the same box. So when I say this hosted, right? So we of course we experience some more important changes in the way how our CIF works, the way how the data processing is differing. So those are different topics which we will try to understand um, about them in our next plan sessions. Okay, we will not go to the too much of details because we still have to know the master data, essential parts of it, and how do we classify the master data and so on. Okay, let us try to keep our material planning, which is a very important essential part. So I agree that yes, these four ways are the non-compromised solutions, I would say, like MRP, CBP, JIT, and EOQ. Though this existence of these different material planning techniques are available, but we feel or we say that for certain different materials, a special attention is needed. Or you say that I want to use advanced planning. This was also a case like for a few materials you used to use APO system for planning. For others, we used to use our normal ECC system, right?
Correct.
Right, Neeraj? So, can you give some thought process? What do you think that what can be the reasons which would give you that influence that okay, this materials should be planned in ECC, a few other materials should be planned in APO? What do you feel? What can be the different parameters client
Yeah.
would think about?
So a couple of things. First thing would be definitely we would like to plan only the critical products in advanced planning, and maybe, for example, if we have some spare parts make to stock kind of a situation where we don't see a lot of disruption in demand, we have a steady supply and demand scenario where we don't need to plan that much in advance. Those we can definitely go ahead and plan in easy systems. And the ones which are critical products which have a critical life cycle also, maybe some in some cases they are used in multiple scenarios, make to stock as well as made to assemble also. So those kind of products normally we plan to have it in APO system. Also we can see there might be some scenarios where we have dynamic demand or spike in demands coming up, seasonality is coming up. So those kind of factors also can be easily considered in APO system. So those are the ones which we plan.
Perfect. Yeah. So addition to that, cost can also be the another reason. Yeah. So we say production lead times is already there. Yes. And people differ sometimes a few materials as bottlenecks. Yes. So those materials they want to use, especially in advanced planning. Yeah. So we used to earlier refer it as in APO and ECC, but now going forward, as we are into a one single box now, I would say it as OLTP side and planning side or advanced planning side. So you have to understand that it is advanced planning side when I say it is into PPDS, right? Do you get it? Well, when the analogy now, what I'm trying to say? Perfect, perfect. Okay.
Correct.
Yes, these are all the different reasons, and also this is not an exhaustive list. That is also understood. Yes. So there are certain other reasons also where the client would say, okay, I want to use this as is to be planned in APO. So there can be different other also, but this is not an exhaustive list as we discussed. So there can be different other reasons why a few materials to be planned in APO. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, in advanced planning. Sorry. Yeah. Coming back to this material as a important aspect. Material, when we go to a higher level of classification, we classify them as functional and innovative. Okay. normal general English terminology, we are clear what does it mean, but let us try to understand more depth of it in the in the context of classifying them for materials, right? So a material, the way how it is procured or processed or used has not changed. Say, then I would say refer it as a functional product or a functional material. Take an example. Say a hammer, what we use it at our households to fix a nail, right? Hammer. So the way how it looks like,
Yeah.
the way the purpose of its usage has never changed. Even 20-25 years back, if I have to see the hammer, it was seen the same way, the same structure, also the same till now, and it will also be the same for upcoming years also, let us say. So I would say that it's a functional product, a functional material. Of course, there will be not huge deviations in its the way of its making, the way of its extracting the demand. People, how often will they buy hammers and all? If they have a very regular pattern of the things and so on. That's wonderful. Okay, functional materials and their management is very much compatible, is very much easy. Okay, now let us think about the other type of example, that is innovative. Okay, so yes, when we go for one-liner definitional point of view, I would say that okay, the way how it is procured, processed, or used has a scope to change can be called as innovative. Can you tell me an example for innovative type of material? Day-to-day life, yeah.
Maybe a mobile phone, something like that.
Perfect. That's a perfect example. Yeah, mobile phone. Yeah. So we don't have this much of features in our mobile phones. Say 10-15 years back at least. You agree? So
Yeah.
we had this, normal number pad. We don't have a touch screen and all those stuff. We don't have this earlier. Okay. So mobile phone, yes, it falls into an innovative type of materials example. Okay. Now what I can also understand is that I cannot do a same level of planning for my hammer and mobile phone. Of course, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
So because
Yeah.
this has a volatility in its demand, it has a volatility in its availability of the materials and many other reasons. I would say that okay, of this given situation, I want to use my mobile phone to be having involved with multiple planning aspirations. So I want to use it in advanced planning. Okay, for hammer, I want to use it for my say normal ECC association planning is still sufficient for me because I do not encourage so much of challenges. Okay, let us further see how this process of making also can impact, because as we are trying to more have an association with the making of the product, how it can make the difference in this. So MTS, MTO, MTE, right? So make to stock point of view, we know that the before the demand has arrived, we are trying to build it. You agree, Neeraj?
Correct.
Make to stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this context of make to stock, that means the process of making of a product, when I speak about, so there is something called push processes and pull processes. Have you ever undergone these terms? Push process,
Yes, Raghu.
pull process. Okay. So what is your thought? What is your stand on this points on push process? What it is and what is pull process? Can you tell me?
The push normally is something which is having your capacity as a primary factor, where you produce based on the capacity that you have, and you push that to the markets. For example, two-wheelers, FMCG, and all those kind of products. And pull would
Mm-hmm.
be more where we are actually, those are actually driven by, I would say, the demand that is coming up, primarily the make to order kind of products.
Very good.
For example, like I have done one project like that where we are supposed to having switch gears
Mm-hmm.
built up. So those were basically pull kind of a case. Whenever there's a demand coming, then only we were actually starting the production for those.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So we know that push and pull processes, both of them will exist. So for a client cannot have a completely ideal push processes only or ideal pull processes only. Not possible. There will be a combination. There will be a some percentage of push and some percentages of push. So if the push percentage is very high, I will say make to stock. If push percentage and pull percentages they are in moderate, I will say make to order. If pull processes, pull processes are higher than push processes, then I will say it as make to engineering, right? Customer centric they are. Make to engineering is a customer centric. I will say I need a mobile phone which has 7 cameras to it. In general, they don't, but it's a customer specific requirement. He has his own reason why it has to be. So for that, I have to make it specifically a design for him in that fashion that it has been sufficing his requirements. So in that case, I will say it as make to engineering. It is more full process oriented. Okay, perfect. So in this example of push process as high, of course your MIDs are more reliable. You agree? Because you go for a make to stock scenario, you go for an order processing. Whether the demand comes, it's just a simple yes or no answer. Do I have stock? I would say yes. If I do not have, I would say no. That's it. That is enough. That's only. But the challenges are high. What can be the challenges? Inventories can go up, and a change in the demand can lead for you to become you're serving a outdated product. So having a just higher inventory may not be sufficient to make an order processing efficient. Do you agree? Hello?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So in order to, so now this is the current era is now is about customer centric markets now we are into. We know that. So we know that the clients have to also modify their business process. They have to revisit the processes. So it's more about not with only a purely a make to stock scenarios, but they have to be in the make to order or assemble to order also the other scenarios. They have to be able to engage their customers and also making them to get what is required for them. If they are able to do it, if they are capable enough to do it, they will do only what a customer needs, but not what they already can do. No, that's not the thing is needed. They can do. So what they will do is now is the something called as postponement of processes. Okay, a very simple example. So say imagine a person going to a bakery and he asks for a say a sandwich, let us say. What would that guy do? He would only pick up something which is already there in the oven and gives him to him, right? He just maybe he's going to heat it up and he gives it to him. So it's already stocked up. No further changes to it. You just have to accept it as it is. Fair enough. Now think about a person going to McD. What would happen? He would stop the making of process till what extent until you confirm how which type of sandwich do you require. Right? Maybe you say, okay, I need an extra butter, I need extra cheese, I need extra veggies to be added. So according to your requirement, if he's assembling it, it makes a different response. It makes a different way of processing, and of course, it gives you a different lead times of expectations, right? Your make process is also becoming higher. That means your MAD material availability date is there is a deviation here. It's not like immediately no. You have to wait for a certain time. Now think about the other scenario like make to engineering, where firstly the person who is going to be serving to you, he has to understand the requirement from you. So a typical customer like me, if he goes and I say like, hey, my sandwich should be not in triangular shape, it should be in circular shape. Now he has to chop the so-called bread also in circular fashion. So of course that means that every process which is associated with it has to be modified. And according to that, I have to also there is a expectation time that okay, this can be increasing in the time, but still the MADs which are going to modify for this every business aspect, they are to be calculated. There should be some certain calculation on which they are able to confirm to the customer, right? So there comes how a production planning is going to work and how it is trying to schedule it or not. Those things we are going to understand. Okay. So do you understand that make to stock, make to order, make to engineering, though they are just about the make processes, but they are also influencing the material availability rate, which is a very essential parameter in the context of business making or business ongoing process. Hello.
Yeah,
Okay. So these are the strong reasons why we use production planning and detailed scheduling. Yes. So how comfortable are you with CIF? Just want to understand.
yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with this actually because in GATP it's used extensively. So I've been working on
Yes. Okay. Great. Sure. So your gap analysis sessions will not take much time for you because you have this flavor of both GTP and DP. So that will be making your job much more faster. That's for sure. But yeah. So as I said you that we will start with our master data in our sessions. So in our upcoming session, the next session, you would see that how this concept of like, okay, a particular material to be planned in ECC or should be planned in APO or advanced planning, how are we trying to validate the difference? How are we trying to make system get this awareness that, okay, when which certain point of planning is to be done, and what are the different master data fields which we need to know about them. The whole background of it we'll try to know in our next session. Right, Neeraj?
Yeah, Raghu. So Raghu, a couple of questions. I think thanks for this detailed explanation. I think it will really help once we start. So basically, um, so once you will start these sessions, Raghu, so I think we will initially have gap analysis sessions, right? So how many sessions you think normally would take that that to complete, as per your experience
No.
previous people?
No, it just goes with the topic, right? So, for example, imagine, like, I know that you know about material master, but let's imagine. So we will speak about this certain different things like material master classification and all. There's a gap firstly, why I need a material master and all. Then we will go inside to it.
Mhm.
So I will speak about a topic like something called scheduling margin key. What is the gap? So there is a small gap. Why should I know about it? So that gap I will fill, and then I will speak to the topic, and then I will show it onto the system. So it is
Okay.
ongoing process. It is not like a full dedicated session only for gap. No, the part of the session can
Okay.
be gap analysis session. Okay, so it's not an only dedicated part. No, not like that. According to the topic, I will
Okay.
add the gap analysis. So taking that, okay,
Okay.
if I feel that, okay, you can be knowing about this, I will directly start with the topic. I will not go to explain what is the material and all to I will not do that, but rather maybe I will speak about more about the MRP views, and then I will go inside it, right? So this is the reason why we take the experience firstly, so that I can plan for that in another way. That's the intention. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that helps, Raghu. Raghu, one more thing. What
Mhm.
is the duration of these sessions that you will be planning now?
As I said
Normally.
you that for every aspirant the durations would change. The in general we give it as a bucket of 25 to 30 hours, but for certain
Mhm.
topics if you have to extend, right, you have to bear with me for some
Mhm.
more time. So you cannot say me, hey
Okay.
Raghu, you said 30 hours but we are 2 more hours extra. I'm bad at that,
No,
so I'm sorry, but
that should be completely fine with me, I think, because I would like to go with that. And just one more information. So I actually, when we were seeing user stories, right? So
Mhm.
I would like to know about if you have those, that would be great. One would be about
I will make
food
you write the
industry,
user
and then
story. No, I will make you to write the problem statement first and think about it, and you will be giving the solution. If not, then I will assist you how we can do it. That's the way how we will approach. No, it's just not about already
correct.
written code.
No, no. So what I was saying is, if when you are explaining, I think I would be preferring that if we can have some more user stories from your experience when you are explaining about maybe pharma industry more or food industry, if that is the case, because those are the areas where I am actually working. So I will be able to
Sure,
relate more onto that actually to start with.
surely. Then.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, Raghu.
sure.
And regarding the timings, Raghu, how we can decide that actually?
Uh, how comfortable are you with this weekends time? The current time what we are now, like for 2 hours of stretch, is it a good time?
Yeah, weekends definitely I can stretch for 2 hours, not a problem. But on weekdays also, will it be possible to have the sessions?
Currently, we have sessions booked already for weekdays. Maybe if we have bandwidth after the session closes, right, for the weekday, if we will announce if you can join for weekdays also. So that it would be like that. But as of now, we will start up with weekends, I would say. Does it make sense now for you? Is that okay?
So
So
when you say
it would
weekend, so
be
about
three
you are
hours
saying
per
4 hours.
3 hours per day. So it would cover 6 hours, which is sufficient enough time, I believe. Do you want to make it as a crash
Okay.
course? I mean, make it as fast as possible. Is that what your intention is? Just want to know your
No, no,
aspiration.
no. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it a crash course, but I definitely intend to finish this by end of March actually. So I have time. So these 2 months
Yeah.
I have. So I don't want to
So I
rush
think that should be
because
sufficient.
I also want. Yeah.
Correct. 6 hours of is a decent hour time. I mean, decent enough time for us for a whole week, right? So you have the rest of the weekdays to do your homeworks. Of course, I should say this. I do give assignments, and I believe you are open to take up assignments. Is that yes?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions to me?
Yeah, so just one more thing, if possible, see, there might be a possibility. See, I'm already working on a project, and sometime I'm even occupied on a weekend also. So I think that you should be okay if we want to reschedule 1 or 2 sessions here and there.
No problem. Your unavailability is ever welcome. We do not have any challenges to accept that. Maybe it would be great if you can let us know little advance so that we can
Sure, sure.
plan it.
Yeah.
That's only
No,
expectation.
definitely. That's what I'm saying. So there are some cases, and that is where
I understand.
some
I
challenges
can
are coming.
completely understand.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's
So
there.
maybe the timings might differ, or maybe I will have to request you to change for one odd week or something like that. So hopefully that should be
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
timings as of now, with these timings we will fix because other timings we have the sessions on weekends also. See, I take weekend batches and I take weekday batches. I mean, normal days batches also, right? Like normal weekdays. So if you give me another time, where unfortunately, if I'm already booked for the time, I may not be able to shift it, right? So as of now, this time is what we are thinking. If you want to increase, like we start at 12:30, like maybe 1:30 or 2 to 4 if needed. Like if you tell me that time, I will have to adjust the other batches also, right? So you can just give me that comfort time so that most of the cases we can, I mean, 3 hours a day. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 to 5,
Yeah,
something like that. You can just let Rajendra know that your available slot, and he will acknowledge me.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's the intention. Yeah.
sure.
However, here and there we can
So
understand, like one or the other section is okay. No problem.
yeah, and apart from this, apart from the recordings that you would be sharing, is there any training material that you can share it with me so that I can also go
You
through
will be
that?
having every topic wise notes will be there with you. So you will be writing the notes also, which I will be presenting in the topic of discussion. As I said, yes, some extensive topics which need additional attention, that will be sent to you, which we said as trainer narrated documents, just to coin it, right?
Mhm.
So you will also receive those. Surely you will receive.
Okay. Apart from that, Raghu, for
Hello, 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 Neeraj. Hey Neeraj, can you hear me? Hello
am I
Neeraj.
audible? Yeah. Sorry,
Now,
I got disconnected. Yeah, so
okay,
I
okay.
was just checking one point, one more point. So you mentioned about user stories. We will be having hands-on during the training sessions also. Can you also cover how we are actually doing the entire setup for PPDS in S4 once we
Yes, if
have
that
this
is the
spotted?
system, yeah, system in place, you will see that. Yes,
Okay.
when you would experience the master data creation, you would experience the flow of them, you will experience the transactional data build, you will experience the configuration settings. So all of these are there as a part of your training. These are there. They are very much expected to be there in your training.
Okay.
Does it
So
answer your question? Hello?
if definitely. No, because I was going through some documents for PPDS, and I saw that there is a uh, quite a bit of setup also to be done on S4 once we install
Is
PPDS or
needed.
activate PPDS. Yeah.
Correct. That will be discussed. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So Raghu, can we start? I will check, and maybe can we start from next week onwards, or maybe from tomorrow only if everything goes fine? How does that work?
I, I'm there from tomorrow also. So I would say this 2 to 5, right? If you are expecting that time, yes, we can start from tomorrow.
Just
I lost you.
just give me a second, Raghu.
No problem.
Raghu, is it possible to have from 12:30 to for 3 hours? 12 to what? 3:30. 12 to 3:30. 12:30 to 3:30. Hello.
Yeah, I'm there now. Yeah. So 12:30 is what you are expecting. Okay. Yes, we can. We
Okay.
can.
So I think that should work with me. 12:30 to 3:30 time actually. So,
Sure.
yeah.
So meet you in next session. Okay. So thanks once again for giving us this wonderful opportunity to brief you how we have planned our sessions for you. Okay. Thanks, Rajendra. So I think we will now call off the day.
Yeah. Thanks, Raghu, for your time. Yeah, I'll just connect with Rajendra and I'll update him if we can start
Sure.
by tomorrow itself. Yeah.
Okay, great.